You are live on air.
All right, all right. Let's get it going.
You go for it, Anthony.
All right, so welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I'm just gonna let everybody kind of get settled in. Hopefully, we get some a good amount of participants in, and I'm gonna give it about a minute before we actually get started with this. So let's just give it a minute. Let few people roll in because I know sometimes it takes a little bit of a time for everybody to get in. I know not everybody's gonna get in exactly at 11 o'clock. But I'm gonna give it 1 minute. All right. Um, for right now, let's just get this going. All right. So, welcome everyone to the greatest CRO game show on Earth. So, this is called Can You Guess the Test, an interactive game show where contestants are given a choice between two different A/B test treatments, and they have to guess which treatment is the right one. Now, you might be asking, what makes this game so interactive? It's the audience, it's you, right? So you can help these contestants make the right choice by commenting which variation you think is the winner. It's what makes this game show so damn amazing, right? So let's get to the intros. So for those who don't know me, my name is Anthony Wallace. I'm the founder of the Stupid Simple e-commerce blog. I've also recently gone from entrepreneur to intrapreneur. I used to own my own consultancy, which was 92 Dream, and now I'm working as a CRO manager at the Shopify agency Prayella. And now I'm going to pass it over to my esteemed co-host Deborah, and she can introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today. Super excited to have you here with our all-women panel of CRO contestants. I am a top A/B testing influencer. I'm recognized as a leading women CRO specialist, and I founded the go-to A/B test case study resource, Guess the Test, where many of the tests that we're going through today are coming from. So you're going to get an inside sneak peek into Guess the Test.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now we have our contestants. First up, we have Haley Carpenter, who is our founder, the founder of Chirpy, ready to show off her CRO skills. If you want to give
And
them a
Haley, why don't you say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Haley. I have Chirpy. We do execution consulting and training specifically for CRO. I'm just a giant CRO nerd, so never really had much of a passion for other things in the digital space. They're all related, of course, and we do tie those in. But I'm based in Austin, Texas. I've been in the industry for a good while now. Also do influencer work across LinkedIn quite a bit and on my own website, working with any industry, but primarily just large enterprise. So
Amazing. Well, welcome and good luck today.
yes.
And two-time returning champion, Linda Bastos, what is your secret sauce?
Well, it's a bit of gut feel and trusting your gut. Going with
All
the
right.
gut.
Good
And
stuff.
you have a lot of experience looking at tests and test variants through Adjacent and Ecom Ideas. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, I've been looking at websites since I don't want to say how long. So I think over time, both on the SaaS side and the e-commerce side, you pick up a few things, I'd say.
Absolutely. So we're going to see if you can maintain your championship record and be a three-peat, as Anthony is calling it. And Mandy, tell us about yourself.
Yes, hello. So I'm a CRO strategist at Verifone. I have a background in digital marketing, so CRO fits in very well with that, as I'm sure you all know. And yeah, I'm very excited. I attended one of these sessions a couple weeks ago, I guess a couple months ago now, and I'm just very excited to be able to be a contestant. So let's do it.
Okay, well, welcome and good luck.
Thank
Yes, these
you.
people are industry vets. They know their stuff to CRO, but can they guess the right test? All right. We shall soon find out. So here are the rules of the game. There's 3 rounds where the contestants will guess which variant of an A/B test won. We have round 1 where you get 5 points, round 2 where you get 8 points, and round 3 you get 12 points. If we need to, we will have a tie-breaking question at round 4, and if we absolutely need to, we will have a double overtime question as well. So, the winner of this game will move on to the next episode where they will play against 2 more contestants.
All right. So we have 3 exciting tests today, and the results of the tests really could go 50-50. And so it's truly a face-off. And in this face-off, you're going to need to make sure to save face. And that is the theme of our tests. All of our tests are about literally faces. So Amanda Hetty, you may have a little bit of an advantage because we're talking about the things that surround the head, which is the face. And we're going to be looking in various ways how faces and facial expressions and facial visual cues affect conversions. So in this very first test on faces, we're going to look at face and font combinations. And we're going to see which wins, a doctor or a professional look. So here are the variants. In version A, we have a doctor with scribbled handwriting. You can see here the stethoscope and then the kind of messy scribbled handwriting. In version B, we have more of a professional looking guy, warm, smiling, with very clear typed content. Now, this test was for a medical device company called AliveCor. They make handheld heart monitoring medical devices, so you can hold a heart monitor and make sure that your heart is beating properly and there's no arrhythmias. For this test, they wanted to see which banner ad was going to work to increase click-through rates from the ad into the site and get people actually buying the medical devices. The people coming to the site was all traffic, but primarily composed of professionals. They were cardiologists as well as their patients in need of medical monitoring. So again, I pose the question to you, which version do you think won? Version A, the doctor with the scribbled handwriting, or version B, the professional with the typewritten text? Now, thinking about the audience here is very important. And again, the audience was both doctors and patients in need of medical device monitoring. So go ahead and lock in your vote in the chat, private chat. And I see Haley has locked in her vote. Mandy has locked in her vote, and Linda, the 2-time returning champion, is really waffling here. She's going, ooh, and she has locked in her vote. All right, and we seem to have some issues with the link, but we have our first participant now being able to join. And we'll give the participants just a few seconds. I'll go over the test again so they can also cast their vote. So yeah, we had link issues. Anthony, we'll have to watch that for next time.
Yep.
All right, so welcome to our participants that just joined. Thanks so much. We have just started our first test, and I'm going to go over it again so you can make your own vote. We are looking at faces and the effect of faces. And we have version A here with a doctor and scribbled handwriting, or version B here with a professional with clear handwriting. And the question is, which version works better to get people clicking through and buying medical devices for this medical device company, a doctor or a professional? And Josh, who is chiming in, says he'll end up getting 0 anyway. It doesn't matter how much he missed. A little self-defacing, Josh, but go ahead and cast your vote. Tell us what you think, A or B. And Slobodan is saying the scribble one because he's dressed like a doctor. So version A. So Sunny, tell us, version A, what's your rationale?
Is my audio on?
It is, yes.
It
We
is.
can hear you.
I would totally buy a pizza from the second one, but the first one looks like a doctor, and there's the white lab coat. So it's not just the handwriting, it's just the white coat is like the I don't know, psychology factor.
Right. Okay. So it kind of tips off that you can trust this person. There's a sense of trust and credibility from the doctor. Josh, you seem to agree.
Yeah, I think my handwriting is just as bad. So I feel like, you know, I would go with the one that resonates the most with me. And, you know, that's my handwriting.
All right. Now, Linda, you locked in version A as well. What were you thinking?
A few things. First of all, that script writing, I love it because it's a pattern interrupt. It's unusual. So that's more likely to draw someone like, what the heck is that? And actually pay attention to it than the serif font below, which doesn't even look great for the web. The second thing is that crooked smile on the version B. That is like a body language thing of maybe like lack of trust or deception. So I think that might be triggering people on an unconscious level. And I'll leave the rest because other people want to talk. So I'll shut up.
All right. And Sunny's saying, Dr. Soprano. Okay, so crooked smile is just crooked for you. It doesn't work. Haley, you seem to disagree. You went with version B. What were you thinking?
I do disagree. I definitely see the logic on what everyone has said so far. This could go either way. It just depends what resonates with users most, of course. But in my opinion, that handwriting script is difficult to read. So I actually think people would more glaze over it, and it takes too much effort to read. It's also not a value prop in stating what's being offered here, where I think the other one is much clearer. Depends on what context is around this. I have no idea. So that would depend. But also, I think, I don't know, the smile I think could resonate just because it seems perhaps a little friendlier than the doctor's face. The doctor is still slightly smiling. But I don't know, that doctor one is hard. It depends too, like the doctors may resonate with B better in that face, but it's more probably for me about the messaging and the value prop, the script.
Okay, that's fair. So I'm hearing messaging clarity converts. You can actually read the message a lot better with the typed in font. Mandy, what is your thinking?
I am also in disagreement about it being version A. I chose version B, mainly for the same reasons. It's easier to read. In my experience, with the audience being doctors, in my experience, they don't have a ton of time in their days. And if they're sitting down to do research on medical devices, taking those extra couple of seconds to actually read that handwriting is not gonna happen. Or be something that they want to do. The other thing is that with the audience being doctors, the version A is very patient focused as far as messaging goes. It's talking about how the patients love it, they feel like they're in control. But the second one is more speaking, in my opinion, to doctors, saying this is a landmark development. It's personalized cardiovascular care. It's, you know, cutting edge. Like the image doesn't matter as much to me, just because like both are going to get your attention because they're making eye contact, and that's the most important thing. But really the messaging being focused towards doctors and how they consume content and need to do so in a quick way is why I chose version B.
Interesting. So the audience is indeed doctors, but it also is the patients of these doctors, people in need of a cardiovascular device to monitor their health. Does that change anything for you at all?
Not really, because I think both get the point across, but the first one misses what I think doctors care about, whereas the second would speak to both doctors and patients, in my opinion. Like this is personalized to you, and it's cutting edge. Those are, I think, the two main points that both are potentially trying to get across, but the first one to me doesn't speak as much to doctors other than the image.
Okay, fair. So we have had some pretty compelling reasons presented from Haley and Mandy for version B. Linda, do you want to switch your vote?
I don't. I think that I think that we both have an equal chance of of getting it wrong.
All right, well, it truly
Or
is
getting
a
it right.
face-off. So let's do the big reveal. Anthony, cue up the music. We're going to show the winning test is
Oh my
Germany. So congratulations to Haley and Mandy. Linda, you have two more tests ahead of you, but in this case, version B actually lifted click-through rates 31%. And as a result of getting more people into the funnel and looking at medical devices, sales actually rose an astounding 35%. So simply by changing the font and the face, the messaging as well a little bit, revenue increased a strong 35%. Now this test had a statistically significant effect at 90% significance. The sample size was not reported, so, take numbers with a grain of salt. But either way, these are very compelling numbers that you definitely want to see when you're testing. So version B was indeed the winner. And what this shows off is that we really need to face it. We judge off first impressions. So without realizing it, our minds are going to assess things like how attractive we think somebody is, how likable we think a person is, if a person seems trustworthy or not. And when we present pictures of doctors, trustworthiness and credibility becomes apparent. And in this case, the smiling businessman here, he probably came across as more authentic and clear. And so he was able to establish a greater sense of trust. Whereas doctors are, maybe a little bit more skeptical of people trying to pose as doctors because they're in the field. They know that doctors don't necessarily walk around with a tie and stethoscopes. So it maybe seemed a little canned or a little poised. So the businessman came across as more authentic and probably established a greater sense of trust. And I think very, very importantly, as Haley and Mandy both said, the font was way easier to read in this version compared to the handwritten text. It came across as clear. Mandy, I believe you said, people are busy and they don't have a lot of time to be looking and trying to decipher the message and read through it. And the typewritten message just had that hit so that you could take it in so much more quickly. So very, very important factors to consider. But Linda, you're not entirely wrong because, these things are truly a face-off. It can go 50-50. What this shows us, the importance, takeaway, the absolutely crucial takeaway is that the images you choose and the fonts you choose should not be arbitrary decisions. They should absolutely be tested because they can make a huge difference for conversions.
I would be curious what percentage of the test group, like what percentage of traffic represents doctors and patients, and if there was a
I was
difference.
curious about that too.
Yeah, that's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't have that breakdown. We just know that it was doctors and patients. I'm gonna probably gander that it was more doctors than patients, just because doctors are finding the medical devices for the patients. But those patients really involved with their health and monitoring their heart rate, would be interested in a device like this. But
I also think,
absolutely knowing your audience. Sorry, go ahead, Mandy.
oh, you're fine. I was just, the more we look at these images, I think part of the appeal of the version B as well could have been that, that man could have, just looking at the image, could have passed for a doctor or a patient. Whereas the first one is very clearly a doctor. So it could be unintentionally polarizing in that way. Even though
That's
both
true.
are MDs, you can't really see that unless you happen to see this on a medium where the banner ad is pretty big, right? So
that's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so thinking of those things, super, super important. So Anthony, how are we doing with our points?
So we have a tie right now between Haley and Amanda. Linda, our previous champion, hasn't got on the board yet, but she still has a lot more time to get back on there. That one was a hard one. It is hard. Like the handwritten text was, it's a doctor's text, right? It's a doctor's font, so it's going to be hard to read. So other than that, that was a hard one to choose. So we do have more time though in with the next two tests.
All right, amazing. So we looked at doctors and facial expressions and fonts. Now we're going to talk about a very serious subject matter, which is, should you be happy or serious when you show a facial expression? And I'm going to get into the test in a second, but I just want to welcome the new participants that have joined. We were having some trouble with the login links, so great to see you here, and feel free to chime in with the chat or turning on your mic to tell us what you think the answer is. So here is the test. This is for Boat US, which is a boating membership site, and they wanted to know what is going to sell us more memberships. Should we show a picture of a happy captain with his arms crossed, trying to allure people and get them to buy boating memberships? Or does it work better if we have a serious captain, again, with his arms crossed? Is that going to be more effective for selling memberships? So, as I mentioned, this was for Boat US. The traffic was everyone coming to the site primarily boaters interested in getting boating memberships. And the goal of the test was to increase membership sales and get people signing up. So they were really looking for increasing revenue per visitor. Which version do you think allowed them to achieve that goal better? Happy or serious? And I'd like you to lock in your vote. I see Haley has locked in hers. And Linda and Amanda, you can waffle, but please go ahead and cast your vote. Sunny is saying sunglasses. You don't boat without sunglasses. Sunny, tell us more.
There's nothing more to tell. This guy knows boats. The guy without the sunglasses is going to get his eye damaged at a boat, so I wouldn't trust him.
Right. So he should not be looking at eclipses, and he should not be going on boats without his sunglasses. So he
Bingo.
not only is serious business, but he's also an informed person ready to go onto his boat. Jeff, you seem to think differently. You seem to think version A, the smiling guy. Tell us what your thoughts are.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Deborah. Just, I think the page kind of comes off a little softer, not quite as intimidating, perhaps, which would maybe lend the customer to engage with the page a little bit more. I think the sunglasses man just looks a little mean. That's all.
Okay. So too serious. This is supposed to be a fun hobby kind of sport, and sunglasses comes mean. Let's make it smiling more approachable. Mandy, you seem to agree. You went with version A. Tell us why.
I did. I really waffled on this. I think that if you are a boater that is looking at getting a membership to Boat US, very, very large organization that does a lot of different things, you're either a boater who's on the water all the time, you're a professional, or you are just, doing it for fun and to get out of the water, be alone. So I think there's a lot of different personalities that are coming to this page, a lot of different purposes. So I really waffled on this one. I do see the appeal of the sunglasses guy. That's potentially, a cool look, a cool vibe, an aspirational kind of thing. But I went with the smiling guy because from all the different avenues I could think of, is this the guy towing my boat? Is this another fellow boater? Is this who I want to be? I think on the whole, the smiling guy is going to appeal to a larger audience, which this website and this page probably sees a pretty large audience. So that's why I ultimately chose the smiling guy. Whether it's the guy towing your boat or a fellow boater or who you want to, aspire to be, you probably want to be the smiling guy. But I did waffle a little bit.
Very compelling argument. You certainly had me convinced, but Haley, you don't seem so convinced. You went with version B.
I actually have very similar thoughts to what Mandy just said. The only tweak I would have, or just maybe two, is that I do think version B, if this won, I really think I might have lost this round. It could go either way. But if version B did win, I think it's one of those cases where it's a counterintuitive win, perhaps, where you wouldn't maybe think it would, but actually does. And the reason that I think that is because if you have a water towing service, to me, like, that's a serious business. If I need water towing, like, I want to know that you're going to come in and get it taken care of, like, quickly, and you're professional. So yes, A is more approachable, but at the same time, I could see where the seriousness may be advantageous. But at the same time, you can't see his eyes, which could be problematic to users. And so the first one may resonate more because of that as well. But yeah, I think it could really go either way.
Okay, that's an interesting point. So we know that there's research that shows that people connect with the eyes. It's one of the first sort of points of entry when we look at a person or a model on a screen. We go straight to the eyes. Eye tracking research shows that. And in this version, we see the eyes. With the sunglasses version, we don't see the eyes. Now there's some banter going on and it's hilarious. People are debating whether or not this is a real person or the same person, or if he's mid-journey generated and his right arm looks a little sus. But whether or not it's a real person or an AI generated person, the same principles still apply. Now, Linda, you seem to have your own thoughts. Tell us what you're thinking.
You stole my thunder on the eye gaze piece. So, you know, somebody locks dead on with you with a model. Oftentimes you don't veer your eyes towards the headline or the call to action. So I would have loved to see version B with his head tilted kind of slightly. But so part of the reason why I chose B was because of the eye blocking. So it minimizes that impact of that kind of, you know, reptilian brain getting locked on the model. The other part of it, relatability. So if boaters to boaters, you want to kind of feel like you're represented by the model. This looks like the guy on the left looks like the guy that does ads for car insurance, pretty much everything, right? So it looks like a hired guy versus somebody like me in quotation marks.
Right, okay. Very fair. And Linda, well, we're focused on the eyes. Josh here is talking about most boaters have large arms like Popeye. And he's just focused on the arms and whether they're AI generated or not.
Yeah.
But Sunny is saying, you know what, it doesn't matter anyway, because everyone just goes on a boat to avoid eye contact and not have to deal with anyone else anyway. So who is right and who is wrong? Should we be avoiding eye contact or making eye contact with our models on the screen? Let us have the big reveal. The version B with the sunglasses is the winner. So congratulations. Version B it is. So actually adding the sunglasses created a 32.8% lift in sign-up conversions, which 5x revenue increase of 5x%. The results were statistically significant with a 95% confidence level, but again here, no sample size was reported. So we have to take the numbers with a little bit of a grain of salt here because these are large lifts. But what it shows is that facial expressions matter and the way that you portray your models matters a lot. So body language is important. The fact that his arms were crossed was maybe a little bit of a put off for people, but it matched with the sunglasses because it made him sort of not very accessible. Arms crossed, sunglasses, you know, it was something that we weren't really able to access him, but that made it possibly seem more trustworthy and credible. And, you know, he conveyed more authority. He was a very serious captain. What we need to take away from this test is the face is a super important touch point. And Linda, as you mentioned, the eyes can be a window to the soul, but the face is the door to the emotions. So we read faces, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. We're always taking in those inputs, and we're taking perceptive cues and emotional cues to inform our reactions and ultimately to inform our conversions. So we really need to think about those things when we're testing. And, you know, designers may just pull a random picture of a person or a random model. And as conversion specialists, we have to tell the designers, hey, wait a minute, this image really matters. We need to be testing it. We need to be thinking about it. Any thoughts or comments on that?
I think version B just looked really, really cool. I think that was the reason why it won. Dude he had the glasses on, he was chilling. He looks like he's ready to go on that boat right now. Let's go get towing, right? Like, I think version B is those glasses is the winner.
And Linda's saying Maui Jim sunglasses, they've got to be.
Ironically,
And
I
Josh
just
is
spent a
saying-
while on boating forums because I was trying to pick my polarized sunglasses investment. And so, yeah, it's no joke with those boaters. They've got to cut that glare.
There you go. And he looks cool, as Josh is saying. We all want to be like him. So serious captain it is. So some serious numbers here and serious results. Where do we stand, Anthony?
All right, so Haley is in a clear lead right now with 13 points. Linda's moving on up. She has 8 points now. And Amanda still has 5 points, but we still have another test to go, and it's really anybody's game at this point.
All right, so things definitely can sway because we have a test and potentially a skill testing question and a lightning round tie-breaking questions. So it's anyone's game, as Anthony said. Let's get into the next question. So again, we're looking at faces, we're looking at facial expressions, we're looking at body language and perception. And this is specifically related to a video thumbnail image. We want to know which converted better, a side profile or a headshot. So let's look at those screenshots. So this is a test that was run for SAP, and they wanted to know what is going to get more people to sign up for our lead capture and our download here, should we put a video thumbnail of a person facing the document and get them to play the video and learn more about what they're offering? Or should we have a person facing head on, looking at us, and he looks more like, you know, kind of a businessman in a contextual setting, office setting? What is going to work better to get people to watch that video and then ultimately convert? So they were measuring specifically video starts and also completions of watching the video. They wanted people engaging with the video and then ultimately downloading the form. And this was all traffic, but they were people targeted in business management software solutions, people coming to the SAP website and looking at solutions that were for them. So the question is, which thumbnail works better, a side profile or a head-on face shot? And I would love to get your thoughts and comments. Contestants, go ahead and lock it in the chat. It looks like Linda has just locked it in. Amanda and Haley, go ahead and do the same. And to
Fire.
participants, go for it.
I have a clarifying question.
You again.
So when you click on it, does it take you to another page where you have to fill out a form? Is it gated at all, or is it just click and it comes up and plays?
Yeah, so it's the video itself, and then I believe if you scroll down under the page, there was like a sign up form to access the material. So the material was
Got it.
gated, but
Okay.
the video was kind of the primer to get you interested,
Got it.
get you really excited about the materials.
Do you need me to submit my answer again? I put it in there, but I can.
If you can, yeah. Oh, I see it now. Yep, go ahead. All right, and Sunny or Josh, tell us what you're thinking.
I think it's the headshot. I also like that there's a little bit of text in there, even though I think that says guide knowledge workers, which I'm not exactly sure what that means. But I like that there is something that is messaging in that thumbnail as well. So I think there's a lot of strong parts to it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Josh is saying the headshot messaging just kind of it captures you more and engages you more. Sunny, what are you thinking?
I think the one on the left looks like one of the previous ones. Could be just anything, a car commercial, insurance, McDonald's, like whatever. It looks like a Sora generated video. The one on the right, this guy knows business. He's doing something. He has some papers or whatever it is. So I think it's a lot more relatable in this case.
Okay, interesting. So this is just too generic. It's not contextual to a business setting, but it does provide a visual cue to the document, which we have seen in previous eye tracking research can be a really strong.
But there's
factor.
also mobile. I'll just add there's also mobile. Sorry to jump in.
There's also mobile. Okay. Okay, fair. Haley, you're with Sunny on this one. You think version A. Tell us your thoughts.
So I think the first one, the A is generic, but I think the B version, the facial expressions and the direct eye contact with the seriousness would cause aversion to clicking on the video. I think it's too aggressive. Yes, it looks less like a stock image because there is the messaging. It does look more specific to the offering, perhaps. And the one on the left, A, I don't really care as much that he's looking at the content on the right because I want them to play the video maybe first. But I think overall, the biggest thing is that just the direct eye contact with the seriousness of the facial expression overrules anything else, and it's too much. But
Okay.
this could go either way too.
It could. It truly is a face-off. So I'm kind of hearing it's a bit intimidating with the direct eye contact. It almost throws you off. Mandy, you seem to be in agreement with Haley. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I am. I think that for me, I'm going to be honest, when I looked at version B, like when the slide came up, I looked at version B first and it just made me feel tired. Like I don't want to read, like this document has a lot going on and then there's text underneath it. And then on the left, there's the video. And then within the video, there's seems to be text and more screenshots and details and things. And it just feels like it would be work to watch the video and work to read the document, and I don't want to do either. However, putting myself in the mindset of like I'm seeking this information out, I could see how like it would be nice to have the queue of this video will have lots of information in it, so it's similar to reading a document. But I did end up going with version A just because I think that the visual cue of this video may not be as there's no cues that there's demonstrations or detailed information in the video from the thumbnail, but it is looking over at this document, like look what else is on this page, that is far more detailed. But it's also talking about the next generation of ERP, change the way you think. And I think that the thumbnail of the video matches the messaging of the page in version A far better than the one in version B. So that's ultimately
Okay.
kind of
Okay,
why I chose
certainly
version A.
convincing arguments, but I'm hearing you say there's kind of a sense of overwhelming when you look at
Yes.
the other version. It just feels like
Yeah.
way too much work. Now, Sunny is saying that version A looks like a skipped YouTube ad where you just skip it and go to watch the actual content, and therefore it would be version B. And Linda, you seem to agree with that. Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, you know what? When I locked in my answer, I was thinking conversion goal was for video plays, but it actually is for the document download or whatever the CTA, which I can't see, correct?
Well, it's for video plays as what they were monitoring. So they
So the
wanted to see
conversion goal is
which
video
is going to
plays?
get more people actually watching the video, and not
Yeah.
just starting the video, but they monitored it through all the way to the end. So they
Okay,
wanted to
so
know.
I'll tell you what I
is-
think.
Okay.
Sonny took my words right out of my mouth about the automobile ad vibe that this was giving. It was either that or it's a frame of a YouTube video. Not YouTube, but YouTube. It just gave me this very overproduced SaaS video that's gonna just be all flash and not a lot of substance. So I'd be like, this is gonna be, I'm not gonna get a lot out of this video. Whereas the other one looked like he was maybe going to actually explain the product or explain through a value proposition with less bells and whistles. So I picked B.
Okay, that's fair. Some more compelling. All right. Well, some of you are right and some of you are wrong. Anthony, cue up the music and we're going to do the big reveal. And the answer is version B.
Oh, darn.
So congrats to those of you who guessed version B. Josh says he wins, he's going home. So this actually created a 71% lift in video starts, so people starting the video. And not only did more people start the video, it led to a 65% increase in people who watched the video all the way through. So they were hooked, they were engaged, and they completed the video. And these results were at 99% stat sig, based on a small sample of just 2K visitors per variant, but still, large results that are compelling enough to show us this was probably an accurate outcome. So what does this show us? Well, a lot of the things you already mentioned, super, super important to keep in mind. But the key takeaway, I think, is that the thumbnails you choose absolutely, positively are crucial, and you need to test them. Whether it's a video thumbnail, whether it's a thumbnail for an app that you're trying to show, whether it's a thumbnail for a LinkedIn post, anything, you need to be able to choose the right thumbnail, and the way to choose it properly is to test it. So it's a crucial conversion component. And what I find really interesting about this study is that the thumbnail alone, all the content was the same, but the thumbnail alone impacted not only whether people would start the video, but also whether they would watch it all the way through. So what should we do to make our images convert well? Well, probably part of what worked with this test is that the businessman was more relatable than the guy here who just looked like a generic, car commercial or insurance ad. This guy was in a business setting, and he was really seemed to fit the environment of what the content was talking about, even if it was a little bit overwhelming to look at. So in a business context, use business figures. And also think about visual cues. And as I mentioned, while this guy is looking at the content here, the true CTA in this text was actually starting the video. So maybe if we had flipped him around and had him facing the play button, it might have worked a little bit better. But in this situation, having him look at the document actually didn't serve us all that well. Whereas in the winning version, we were able to see him head on, we were able to access his eyes and his window to the soul, and establish a sense of kind of rapport with him through that, being able to look into his eyes and gaze into his eyes. So that's what seemed to work, but you never really do know. It can go 50-50, so absolutely make sure you test your images. Thoughts or comments on this?
Now, can I ask, Haley and Amanda, did you guys both choose A or B?
A.
Hey, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I want to know.
I'm killing it over here. So well.
All right. And no matter what thumbnail you choose, you want to make sure that you don't look like you're in a Starbucks commercial parking your Audi. As Sunny says, this guy looks like here.
I do have a question about this one too. So just out of curiosity, the thumbnails, were both of them pulled from like actual frames in the video, or because I'm wondering if there was an effect of like if you click on the guy that's clearly a model, and you got to click there, and then you're like, I didn't even this doesn't match what I'm expecting. Like, was there a
Right.
match of expectations? Like, did that affect things? Just out of curiosity, but
Yeah, that's a really great question. I'm going to presume that it was indeed a thumbnail in the video itself. But unfortunately, I don't know because this was submitted
Yeah.
by SAP and I only have the static images. I actually
Gotcha.
haven't seen the video itself.
Gotcha.
So I can't say for certain, but I'm going to speculate that yes, it was
Yeah.
probably a frame in the video and they were testing which, freeze frame thumbnail image worked best. Good question though. Other thoughts or comments? All right, so where do we stand with point totals?
We have another winner today. Repeat
Well,
winner.
not quite yet, not quite yet.
No? Okay.
Well, we still have a skill testing question, which
Okay.
can
So
sway
we still have a
things.
still- Okay. So Linda is in the lead currently with 20 points, and then we have Haley with 13 and Amanda with 5.
All right, so Linda, you may indeed be a third time returning champion, but we have a skill testing question which can sway everything and change it. So Haley and Amanda, you haven't lost yet. You still have a chance. Should we get into our skill testing question?
Do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do it.
right. So this one, you need a little bit of stats knowledge. And the question is, what is the function of significance level alpha, or alpha as it's sometimes called, this little fancy A here? This is a multiple choice question. No going to Google, no going off the screen. I'm watching all of your eyes. I can see your eye movements right now. Unless you put on sunglasses, I'm going to be able to see your eyes, so no cheating. Significance level alpha is A, also known as a false positive, claiming that it's a conversion difference when there's really not. Hold on, this does not seem to be the right. The answers don't seem to be right. Hold on one second here. The screen didn't seem to update properly. I apologize for this technical error. I am just going into the question. All right, we're gonna go on the fly here. And I would like you to tell me your best guess of what significance level alpha is. So Linda, go ahead. Without cheating.
Put it in the chat, right? Or are we blurting it out here?
Just blurt it out. Yeah, go for
Blurt
it.
it
as
out.
best
I'm
as you
going with D,
possibly can.
man. I'm going with D.
Okay, but these are not the right multiple choice questions. Somehow the slide got mixed up and
So what if I give you the right answer and then everybody just agrees with me? Can't we vote privately?
okay, vote privately. That sounds good.
Give you a definition.
So we don't choose an answer. We're just
Anthony,
like
how should
writing
we
out.
handle this? Because I somehow the answer slide
Okay.
was not input properly.
I think what Linda just said, just answer it
Okay.
live
Okay.
as best as possible.
All right.
Sending that to Deborah.
So without cheating, send in your best answer of what you think significance level alpha is. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm just, all right. Okay, scratch everything I just said. These are the right answers. So let's go with this. You get to choose a multiple choice question. All right, so version A, also known as a false positive, claiming that there's a conversion difference when there's really not. Version B, also known as a false negative, claiming there's no conversion difference when there really is. Version C, when you fail to reject the null hypothesis and instead accept the alternative hypothesis. Or version D, acts as a cutoff point and helps set the risk tolerance for a type 1 or false positive error. Which version do you think it is? And I see Linda has cast her vote and Haley has cast her vote. Mandy, it's all up to you. All right, and Mandy has cast her vote. Sunny or Josh or any of the participants, if you want to go ahead in and cast your vote, now is your chance. We won't judge you if you get the wrong answer. Well, maybe just a little bit. Josh has the smartest answer of all. Josh, you win the game. The whole sweepstakes, he's saying A through D. So covering his bases there. Anthony, let's cue the music. The skill testing question answer is about to be revealed. And the answer is dun, 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 version D. So congratulations, you all guessed the right answer. You're officially allowed to analyze A/B test results. So significance level alpha, a confusing term, so confusing that I actually thought that none of these answers were the correct ones. And I wrote the slide. But it's also called significance. Experimenters refer to it as just significance or just alpha. If you want to be really casual and throw it around at a cocktail party, you can talk about alpha. It acts as a cutoff point and it helps set the risk tolerance for what's called a type 1 error, also known as a false positive, which we've looked at in previous game shows. Experimenters can choose to set alpha wherever they want, but typically for a two-tailed online test, it's set at 0.05. And what this means is when you set it at 0.05, you accept a 5% chance of a type 1 error or a false positive, which means that you're willing to incorrectly reject the null hypothesis and call a winner when there isn't one 5% of the time. So you're willing to have that risk tolerance that 5% of the time you'll make the error. The other 95% of the time you'll not make that error. So it's a really important kind of parameter to control risks in testing. And with the right answer, which you all got, well done, our point totals are...
You can get 10 points for this one, guys. All right, so everybody got 10 points. Amanda, you have 15 points in the end. Haley has 23, but Linda comes up with 30 points. And still our winner.
Linda,
I'm just glad I made it to the
Repeat.
Oof.
Three-peat winner.
Three-time returning champion. Congratulations to Linda, Amanda, and Haley. You both did amazing. Well done. Super smart responses, super informative. It really could have gone either way. So congratulations to everyone. Everyone's a winner today. Linda, as our third-time returning champion, I know you're just in it for the fudge anyway, and you are going to get a fudge-faced fudge mailed directly to your doorstep. And I know you've already selected your favorite. It's chocolate peanut butter. You're going to be getting that sent to you. You already have Automate to Win Level 1 certification, which is compliments of Sean David. He's providing any winner a Level 1 certification with a $500 value. And you also have a complimentary pro membership to Guess the Test for you and up to 2 colleagues which is worth $500. And if you'd like, you can share that with any colleagues or contestants on the game show today, because you already have access to it. But I know you're going to be keeping the fudge for yourself. Convert has generously offered to have a sponsorship at the end of June, and they will be giving a $300 Amazon gift card to the ultimate winner of the series up to June. So Linda, you're in the lead for that right now at the 3-time returning champion, but you know, somebody potentially could come and buck you out of place, and then you'll have to fight for the gift card. But that's in the running for right now. So congratulations. This was a ton of fun. I hope you all had a great time. And we hope that you'll be joining us for the next game show on May 23rd at 11 a.m. Eastern, where Linda is going to be joining our next 2 contestants. And Josh, I believe you're up for the next one. Is that right?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Fantastic. So thank you so much, Mandy and Haley. Really, really appreciate you coming on and putting it all out there. And Linda, a huge congrats to you. 3-time returning champion. Well done.
I'm gonna have to get you a belt or something. You know,
Yes.
put a crown on your head or something. We'll figure it out.
I mean, honestly, my takeaway from this is that if anybody ever needs to convince a client or an organization to do CRO testing, just have them go through this process, this game, have them just be a guest on this, and they'll realize that they should test every decision they make.
You got it. Absolutely. And then as a second to that, probably hire Linda to do all the CRO consulting for you.
Right? Yeah.
You don't want me messing up your code, I'll tell you that.
Thank
you so
much
much for having us.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.
For being here. And thank you to the
Bye.
guests. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to share my prize again with the contestants, but they've already dropped off. So maybe
Oh,
if you
okay. Here, I'm
email
just
them.
going to stop the recording. Just one sec here. Stop recording. All right. There you go. It may still be live streaming. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, I didn't say anything off Canvas.
Okay. So you want to share your prize again?
Yeah,
Fantastic. Who would you like to share it with this time?
well, they both can get your access to your database, and then the
Okay.
opportunity to win whoever came in second, which I think was
Okay, let's just go
Haley.
back and see. It was indeed Haley. Yep. Okay, fantastic. That's really nice of you. Thank you. I know they'll appreciate that. I'll send a message in the group chat and let them know.
okay.
And chocolate peanut butter it is.
Yeah, I love the Rocky Road. I mean, next month I'm gonna go back to the Rocky Road. Just a heads
Oh,
up.
wow. You're
My
already
next
counting
win,
your win,
so
eh? Next
then we're
one.
gonna do a rotation.
Amazing. Okay. So that was your favorite so far?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the white chocolate, like the cookies and cream, but that Rocky Road, like there's something about milk chocolate that, you know, lights up all the dopamine. So, and I like
That's true.
the marshmallow touch.
And I'm not going to get blamed for making you fat. I mean, not that you have to worry about that, but I saw that.
Maybe my diabetes medication, I might ask you to help me cover it.
Right. So it's this one here that you're after
Mhm.
with the Reese's Pieces. Okay.
Yeah.
Coming your way, Linda. And I believe I still have your address from last time. So
Right, yeah, just keep it
That
on your
would be-
speed dial.
yeah, no kidding.
Please speed dial, because I don't plan on losing.
Well done, a 3-peat. That's very impressive. It's looking at all those websites and all the e-com ideas that you generated over time. It's giving you that savvy edge.
This was a great topic. I was thinking, like, if we have the bonus round, like, is she gonna have another one following the theme? Because it's
do,
tough to
yeah.
pick this theme.
I do. It's
A good one.
I think I'll save it for next time, maybe. But
Okay.
yeah, it's all about thumbnail images and which image, converts best.
Yeah, good
So,
stuff.
and you also have a slight advantage because you have access to all the tests and all the answers. You could theoretically go through and, memorize the answers and
Yeah, I could. I could I could pull
giving you
that.
some cheating strategies for next
But
time.
sometimes you pull from outside of it, right?
I do, yeah. Or
Yeah.
tests that I have.
It's not
on
a
hand that
silver
haven't been
bullet for
published yet.
me.
No, it wouldn't necessarily guarantee a win. It would just give you a stronger chance.
Maybe a leg up, a little bit of
But you
a.
don't really need that anyway. Amazing. Well, congrats. Thanks so much for
Thanks
you know
again.
participating and taking your time, because at this point it's quite an investment of your time. You're having to come back so frequently. And the
I
date
have to think
of
about how do I post about it again next time because I'm running out of memes. I need to find another meme for next time.
there you go. May 23rd, that will work for you?
It will.
Okay, excellent. I'll send you a calendar invite shortly, and we'll look forward to seeing you then.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll look forward to interacting with you on LinkedIn. I'm enjoying all your posts.
Yes. Give me some time. I want to do a collab, but I need to clear some things off first, but I have some ideas. So we will be in touch on that.
Sounds great. Okay, perfect. All right, well, thanks so much. Congrats again.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.